Good morning, KBOI. This is Dylan Stalker, your 3.5 generation Idahoan. Today is a wonderful day. KBOI 670 AM, 93.1 FM. It is a beautiful morning this Sunday morning at 7 a.m. And we have a very special guest today, a person that has been making impacts in local media here in the Treasure Valley for 25 years. But before we get to this person, we have a very special sponsor. Our sponsor, Old Arms of Idaho. When you are talking about something historic or significant, or more than just a gun, guns is such a word that has fear to it, but there are things of impact that's more than just guns. It's history. We are talking about firearms of the Old West, or we are talking about Old West items, military history. Old Arms of Idaho is like the antique roadshow of these items, and you should give them a call or look them up at oldarmsofidaho.com. And now that we've had a review of our sponsor, we're going to introduce Maggie O'Mara.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here with you, Dylan.
I'm so glad to have you here. It was just such a thing for me to be like, I'm doing a radio program. I have no support. I am one person. I'm just throwing this together. And I'm like, I'm trying to cover all the things of importance, whether it's an artist or a great business or just a great initiative in Idaho. And when you're talking about news is big in Idaho. News is big in everywhere. And the first name that came to mind was you. And I'm so thankful for you to give me a chance to just talk about you today.
Well, I'm honored to be here. I'm honored you chose me. There's a lot of people to choose from in this area. So I feel very grateful that you chose me.
Well, I'm a little biased, as everybody that I have on this show. I'm very biased because I invite people that I've had a personal experience or relationship with. And as an Idahoan, a multi-generational Idahoan, the biggest name that comes to mind for me and my experience is you. And the reason is, news is not pretty all the time, Maggie.
No, it's not. It is not. It is a grind most days, I have to be honest with you. But I do my best to highlight the good things that are happening in our community. And along with the bad, we have to cover the bad. We have to cover what's happening.
Certainly.
But I also love to cover the inspirational stories, the stories of hope, of triumph, the things that warm your heart, and the good things happening, because there is so much good, Dylan, happening in this community. And it doesn't get enough attention.
I am so thankful that you said what you said, because Maggie, I am just a young child in this media world, but you are professional. What you are highlighting is what I think you do the best, which is the positive side of news. For near 25 years now, what do you call that? A silver anniversary you have.
I guess.
You have a big year this year.
Yeah, this is a big year at Channel 7, and I'm so lucky to do what I do. I got here in 2000, I was a baby. I was way too young to even be delivering the news at the time. I got a lot of comments, Dylan, from viewers saying, who is this young girl on the news?
Yeah.
What is she doing here? Because when I arrived, we had very established news anchors in town. Carolyn Hawley,
long time,
Dee
yes.
Sarton, Larry Gebert, Rick Lance, Mark Johnson. We had the big five, right? So they had this young girl on there, and they're thinking, what is going on here? Who is this person? And fortunately, people grew to appreciate my work and to watch us every day. And I've just been lucky enough to stick around this long.
You've been at it. And in the ways of positivity, you'd certainly, as a journalist, have to cover not fun stuff, but Wake Up Boise in the morning has been a very positive impact to news and local media with KTVB, Channel 7, giving credits to the call signs. And you also, one of my favorite things, one of the first times I moved to Boise in the year 2001.
Right after me.
So right after you got here, I'm a news person, I'm a media watcher, listener. And the first thing that stuck to my mind was Seven's Heroes.
Yes.
And that is such a positive thing. I'm so thankful for that.
And it's funny, Dylan, because when I arrived here, they kind of tossed a file on my desk. And my boss said at the time, we do this thing called Seven's Hero. And we'd like to do it every week. We do it here and there, but we want to start doing it every week. And you're going to do it. And I thought, oh my goodness, well, what is it? Well, you have to highlight heroes in the community. And I thought, okay, I love that assignment, but where do I find these people? I just moved here,
absolutely.
And over the years, it has grown into its own thing. I have more heroes than I can shake a stick at. Now, people comment and contact me all the time about a hero in their life. And so I have so much content that I can't even feature them all. There are so many people doing great things in our community. So I try and highlight them in other ways, either on my social media platforms or in my good news segment, which I started during COVID on my show. So I have several outlets to show the good stuff. And 7's Hero, obviously my favorite.
So we're talking about, I'm partial to radio, right? And I love media. I love radio media. I think radio is just one of the longest standing things. But when you talk about television, news media, the camera, and what's covered in all of that, again, that's why we're here talking to you, Maggie. You do absolutely have a genuine positive sense to sharing things. And what you just described is what I'm going through myself. Selfish little plug for myself. I'm just getting started and I'm like, what's great about Idaho? Please contact me, people. thegreatidahoshow.com. I need support. There's so much going on.
I will send you ideas because I have more people than I can feature and wonderful people that you could have on as guests.
Oh my goodness.
Who could speak to you for a half hour about all the amazing things they do. So I will start sending those to you.
I'm the luckiest man in the world here in media today. I've got one of the greatest local journalists in television news offering their support to me. And it's clear, Maggie, that you have been doing such a wonderful job because it would be a shame if I didn't review the many awards that you have received for your great work.
Oh, dear.
And it's all positive. It's all in positive journalism and perhaps is just a breath of fresh air for the news world today. We've got all this things that we won't talk about today, which is politics. Oh my goodness, get it out of here. How many channels?
Not my favorite.
Not the favorite, right? Yeah. But in 2007, and by the way, the internet doesn't tell the truth about everything. And while I've followed your great work for 25 years now, in 2007, you were named one of Idaho's Business Review's Women of the Year, and that was honoring your leadership and your community impact. Between 2010 and 2020, well, somewhere near 2010, you received multiple Idaho Press Club's award for excellence in journalism, and you also won regional Emmy Awards for outstanding journalism in storytelling. And I love the storytelling. That's like 7's Hero stuff,
yes,
right?
I am a storyteller. That's what I tell people.
And that's perfect, right? Because there's so much great things to listen to. In 2020, Ball Ventures Alquist gave you an award, an Inspire Excellence Award, and that was just celebrating your work through 7's Heroes and positive storytelling. This is what it's saying right here, award-winning. And here's the deal. It just keeps going, Maggie.
Well, I am so blessed. I mean, I do, I look at my life and my career at Channel 7, and I have done so many incredible, wonderful things in this community, featuring so many amazing people. Honestly, that is the best part of my job. I love meeting incredible people, inspiring people, right?
Yeah.
So then I get to share their stories, or I get to help them if they're in cancer treatment, or if they are having a fundraiser for needing a service dog, or whatever it may be. I can step in and use my platform to amplify that and to help them.
And give a boost,
to help.
right?
I love to boost. I love to help.
Yeah.
I love to just give that little push to, the voices in our community that don't always get heard. They don't always get heard because there is so much happening in this world right now. There is so much noise.
It's
and
cluttered.
There's so much we have to report on.
Yes.
That's serious and difficult. Politics, crime, things that we don't really love to talk about, but we have to because it's part
important.
Of the news.
We must get the information out.
Exactly.
I've always said repeating millions of things, old adages, all that stuff, but it's not a job if you love what you do. And clearly this is not a job for you, Maggie.
It's become so much more than that because I have been allowed to create a brand where I get to do good. And that makes me feel so great. Yeah. If I had to every day cover the shootings, the crimes, political fighting, infighting, divisive situations,
sure.
I don't know if I would have stuck around.
It's like being a social worker. It's going to wear you out eventually.
It does wear you out. And I still have to do that stuff. So I do get worn out. But like I said, that positive stuff, it rejuvenates me. It gives me purpose.
So we've got about a minute and a half here in this segment. And in our next segment, I'd like to get into a little bit of your roots, a little more about Maggie. Everybody already knows what your great work is because, you're doing such a good job at it, but it's a little bit about the history of Maggie. Is a little bit of fun there. But I want to comment the last Sevens Heroes that I watched was the principal, oh my gosh, the elementary school at Taft Elementary.
Yes,
Thank you.
Tim Lowe.
And putting together a story time for children using technology. And clearly there's a great impact there. And that is just a perfect example of something so local and real and touches all the kids and everything.
It is so hyper local, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so special, and it's something you don't hear about.
Yeah.
It's something innovative and new. And so that's why we chose that story.
Well, okay. Before we finish up here, thegreatidahoshow.com. Please go check it out. We have over 13 episodes, 45 minutes a piece of all great Idaho things happening. No politics, ladies and gentlemen. We do have next week's, this next week's is Neil Shippey of District 65 Water Manager. You'll be hearing that today, actually. And this is the Great Idaho Show with Dylan Stalker, your 3.5 generation Idahoan. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, KBOI, the great KBOI. This is the greatest radio voice, what Nate Shellman would call the flamethrower of the Treasure Valley. Welcome to the Great Idaho Show. We are back with Maggie O'Mara of KTVB. I think one of the greatest contributors of positivity in news in the entire market area that she would cover.
Oh, thank you.
I really mean that, Maggie.
That means a lot to me.
I love the spots. I really do. And especially Sevens Heroes, Wake Up Boise. We're getting, I don't know what mineral, what valuable thing you would call it, but I don't think you even were thinking that you were coming into 25 years here since the year 2000 up this September.
No. I mean,
Time
literally, when I
flies.
started and they hired me, I thought, I'll be here a year or two and then I'll move on.
Yeah.
I'm from California. I missed my family. I'm from a huge family there. And I thought, well, I'll go back and be with my sisters and my parents and maybe get to work there. But you know what? I fell in love with the Treasure Valley. And so I stuck it out. And then I married a native in 2008. We had a bunch of kids, and this is where our life is. We live in Eagle, and we're just thrilled to be here.
It's an Idaho dream.
Yes.
You know, in the first segment, I've been trying to get better because I'm flying by the seat of my pants, everybody. You'd think this was
You're
all
doing
programmed.
great.
I'm a one person show here, except for the great guests that I have. I do it all myself, but I usually try to ask.
Mm-hmm.
This is about Idaho. What's great about Idaho? You're great about Idaho. What do you love about Idaho?
Oh my goodness, where do I begin? I love Idaho for our amazing outdoors and nature and just how beautiful everything is. I mean, we just can't beat it. Even when it's snowing, I love all the seasons. I really do, because I grew up in California where it was always warm, right?
Sure.
And then I came here where we have snow and we got the leaves falling at Thanksgiving, and we have springtime and the tulips and the wildflowers. And I mean, you can't ask for more. It is so beautiful. I love the small town feel, which is changing.
It's changing.
It is changing, isn't it? I love the community, the people. I love, the different communities. I love working with law enforcement and all the amazing contacts that we make in news. The people are what make this state so wonderful. It's
still a place where if you've got a flat tire on the side of the road, odds are somebody's going to stop by and help you, because I don't think that's the motivation in other parts of this world.
No, that will definitely happen here.
You're going to get taken care of.
If you need help, all you have to do is yell.
Just raise your hand.
And someone will be there for you.
Absolutely. A little bit about, your experience. You become a household name in Idaho journalism. And can you take us back? Where did it begin? How did you get to Idaho? There's a moment. It's like, what happened?
Well, I went to Gonzaga.
Okay, cool.
And when I was graduating, I knew I wanted to be in TV news. I had studied broadcast journalism.
Awesome.
I knew that was the route I wanted to take. And I had an internship at a station in Spokane where I was in college. And I thought, I'll send my tape out all over the country. My tape. Now we have it all digitized, right? But back then we sent VHS tapes.
Yeah.
I'll send my tape and I'll see who picks me up, right? If anyone, if I get lucky enough. So I sent it out all over the country to openings for reporters, anchors.
That's awesome.
Yes. And I got 2 offers. One from Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah.
And one from Idaho Falls, Idaho.
Ooh, Idaho Falls.
Yes, that's where I started my career.
There's like 3 parts of Idaho. There's North Idaho, East Idaho.
That's right.
And where we're at. It's like 3 different universes.
East Idaho is where I went, Chi-Fi, with Jay Hildebrandt, Carol Honus. They hired me. I went there. I I was green as the day is long. I was a baby. I think I was just out of college. I might have been 21 years old.
I
was just a baby. And they took me under their wing. They taught me what they know. I shot all my own video, edited all my own stories, drove around to farms and talked to farmers and just got to know the community there.
Eastern Idaho, okay?
Yeah.
So I grew up driving truck in the Spuds for high school, and if you probably covered it, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
They let the kids out of school
to work
go
the harvest.
in the harvest,
yes.
right? I'm a kid. I've said this on these shows before if y'all listen, but this is just such a great memory for me. Driving what would normally require a CDL truck as a teenager, loading truck in the Spuds, and you're out there as a newscaster coming from California, like, what a culture smack.
Well, the good news was I went from California to Spokane.
Oh, to
So
Spokane.
I had a little
exposure.
blip there where I could go a little bit smaller, and then I went a lot smaller. So it was a good transition. And then I stayed there for a couple years, and then I moved here in 2000.
Isn't it funny? This is just what comes to my mind. You know, you are certainly aware of big market news.
Oh, yes.
Right. And the competitive nature and the corporate espionage, backstabby nature of it all.
Yes.
To go to a small town in Idaho to cover something so impactful. It's not about a competition. It's about, we've got to put up content every day.
That's right. You got to get
It's
out
a
there and work.
challenge.
You got to work, girl.
Yeah,
and I did. And I was, we had our work shoes and we wore boots because we were in the field sometimes. We were covering flooding. All kinds of amazing things.
Yes.
You know? So the good news is I learned everything there and I got to do everything. And then Boise hired me. I came here. And the moment I started here, I started on the morning show and I've been there ever since.
You've been out. So I received a text from Maggie this morning at 5:13 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I apologize. I text people at inappropriate times all the time because I'm awake. I get up at 2 a.m. So I'm awake all the time and I will text people back and then I'll realize, it's 4:30. They're asleep.
No way. So there's no apology there. That is an accolade.
Well,
I believe if you want to get something done, if you aren't getting up at 4 a.m, I'm sorry, it's not important enough to you. And if it's important enough, you get up. The reason why I know you texted me at that time is because I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning too to do whatever I'm doing. So there was nothing to apologize for.
I hope people have their phones on silent.
I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
That is a pure, real dedication to get up at that time every morning.
Well, what's crazy is that at Channel 7, I've always had the same job. I have always been the morning anchor of Wake Up Idaho.
Yeah.
I have always been. And people say, why do you want to get up in the middle of the night? When I started, that was the only spot available for me.
Yeah.
But as the years went on and anchors left and they offered me other jobs, honestly, it just didn't fit into my lifestyle. At that time, I was having babies.
Yeah.
I had 5 children. I was pregnant every 2 years.
My goodness.
And
Maggie.
honestly, my schedule to be a mom did not work for doing the evening news.
Yeah,
and it still does not work to this day. I have kids ranging in age of 14 down to 6. I am a very busy mother.
You are moving.
So I do the morning show. I come home around noonish and my day begins.
Yeah.
That's when my day begins, is as a mom. And I'm so blessed because I get to do what I love, help my family by bringing in income, and also raise my kids.
And thankful. How amazing is that, right?
It's been incredible. I have been so lucky.
It can be the thing that takes you down if you let it, or you can make it work for you. You know, I remember when I had to work, the only days off I had were Monday and Tuesday. And people are, you don't have the weekend. And I'm like, man, this is the greatest time to go to the DMV or to get things done in the middle of the day.
Oh, yes.
You just celebrate the best parts of it. And you are clearly, with so much going on, doing such a great job. Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, the deadline of news does not care.
Isn't that
you have to be on at every single time, whether you are having a good day, bad day. You have to represent every single day. I do a radio show once a week for an hour. And, you know, I don't ever want to miss. I hope y'all here at KBOI 670 AM, 93.1 FM, you hear this episode every single Sunday, because Idaho is great. But Maggie does this every single day and a lot on the weekends. My goodness.
Well, no, I have Saturday and Sunday off.
Well, sometimes I'm sure it's not always a Saturday and Sunday.
Well,
off.
that's
It's
true. Sometimes
we've
I
got
have
a
to fill
special
in.
project coming
or a
up,
parade,
or a parade,
or some
right?
special coverage or something. But it's very rare. Usually, it's just Monday through Friday, first thing in the morning. And wow, has it been a ride?
It's been well, it's a 25 years this September. It's
isn't
a
it?
celebration.
It's gone by in
We
a
should be
flash.
celebrating.
It has gone by in a flash.
I think
really
it's pretty
has.
cool.
Yes.
So you have been doing this local news challenge for so long in this area. How have things changed since you started? What would you
my
describe the
goodness.
biggest change? Because you are a great example for this, because you've been doing the same two programs consistently this whole time. So you've seen the transition of all the stuff. What do you think?
I have. Well, the biggest change in the industry has been just the technology.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy how we started and where we are now. Just how everything is so fast and everything is so instant, and there's no waiting. If there's a news story, we're going to get it on TV as soon as we can, and online and on all of our social media. There's no waiting till 5:00. There's no waiting till 10 p.m.
Yeah.
We get it on now. That's the demand. So you really don't get any rest because you're always working to get it on.
Sure.
The deadlines are gone because the deadline's now.
The deadline's now.
The deadline's now. You
My
have to be
goodness.
first and fast,
Sure.
right? In terms of the city and the Treasure Valley and the state, it was so much smaller when I started.
Yeah.
And now it's just grown like gangbusters. And I have seen a change definitely in crime and other problems happening in our community where we have so much to cover now. There was a day back when I was in my young 20s where really we'd have to dig for a story that day.
You'd have to, I don't hate
It
saying
was
the word
hard to find a
manufacture, but
story.
Yeah.
It was hard to find a good story, right? You were out there finding the top story of the day. You had to do some digging. Now we have too many stories. We can't even do them all.
Isn't that such a wonderful thing? That's great, Idaho, to have to make up the story.
Well, we wouldn't make it up.
Not make it up. Sorry.
We don't want to go there.
Correction. Not make it up, but
we
produce a quality
Yes.
a quality story that matters, that
Yes.
is something.
I would go down
And
to the
there's-
courthouse. I would dig around.
Yeah.
I would go to the police. I would check in with them. I would ask, what's going on? What do you have? And they would always have something for me.
Let me tell you, I just said words. You can correct me anytime, because there is no making up any
No.
stories here.
No
This
fake
is-
news around here. This is the real deal.
The real deal
It is.
right here. So we are finishing up this segment here. This is Dylan Stalker. I'm your 3.5 generation Idahoan. I love Idaho. Literally, that's what this is. There is not a single payer of anything on this radio program. There is no money involved here, folks. This is not free. It's me and my money, but there is a little bit. I do have a business. It's called Old Arms of Idaho, and they do something significant here in Idaho. It's in the name, Old Arms of Idaho. It's about historical, collectible firearms, Western and military, and focusing on the history. It's not a gun store. It's a history store. We'll be back here in just a moment. And thank you for listening this morning on 670 AM, 93.1 FM. Welcome back, KBOI, 670 AM, 93.1 FM. You are listening to the absolute greatest radio station and call sign letters of all the Treasure Valley. This one covers the most area. It has the greatest personalities. I hope to earn the status one day to be a great personality for Idaho. This is the Great Idaho Show. I'm speaking with Maggie O'Mara of KTVB Channel 7, one of the most, positive and impactful news media journalists in Idaho, 25 years of experience. Into this third segment. It's so nice to have you, Maggie. I have to say thank you again.
This has been a great conversation so far.
Yeah, and this is to ultimately, I say, celebrate you and your experience. I say that because genuinely, when I moved here in 2001, I watched the news, I hear it. I've known of you since I moved here
We've
near
grown up
25
together.
years ago, right?
Yes.
Isn't that cool? You can connect that way.
It is cool.
And,
it is cool.
have a sense. You've been doing this all that time in two of the most impactful local news programs, if you will. Wake Up Boise. We're all waking up.
Yes.
It's a fact.
5 a.m.
Thank
every
goodness.
day. Yep.
We all wake
Monday through
up.
Friday. We're on Channel 7 for you. Wake Up Idaho.
What would you decide if they had to give you the one sentence mission statement of Wake Up Idaho? What comes to you for that?
Where we start the day.
It's where we start the day.
It's where we start the day. You get your coffee, sit on the couch with us, get the kids ready, whatever you got going on. You can just leave it on, listen in the background. And we're going to bring you the news. We're going to bring you fun. We're going to bring you your weather forecast, tell you what to wear, and just start your day off on the right foot. We have to cover a lot of sad stuff, a lot of stuff that's just not fun. But we also pop in a lot of fun so that people feel that uplifting feeling to start their day.
And I know that about y'all. Why? Because I watch this and I see it, and I think that's so cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know how. But you were describing media and how quick and fast and everything's so easy now. Is it really easy? What is a typical show prep or day like for you?
Well, here's the situation. I come in and there's already people working who've been working all night putting my show together. So me and my coworkers come in. Justin Coors, my co-anchor. Then we have Hector, who does the weather.
Yep.
And we have Tyson, who's our reporter. We get in. By the time we all arrive at work around 3 a.m., they've already been there.
Sure.
Getting it ready. So then we just have to read it, put our touches on it, add some commentary, maybe change things up a bit if we need to, work together as a team to make it as solid as we can. And before we know it, it's time to get ready. And that means makeup and hair and getting dressed and doing all that stuff. And then all of a sudden we're on the set and we're going.
And it's going.
We're going. 5 a.m., rain or shine, we're out there live.
It's going to roll right over you whether you want it to or not.
You better be out there. You better be out there at 5 a.m. or you're in big trouble.
And you got a lot of people relying on you for the development of that program.
We do. We are so lucky. We are the number one watched morning show in the state. So we're very fortunate. And we just want to stay there. So we never want to rest. We never want to rest on our laurels. We always want to work hard and do the best we can every day to keep those loyal viewers.
And those, I'm thinking all the people involved, and it is, when you talk about a team, it's well put together, and to me, a well put together team, it's like Wanda Martinet. If you listen to one of my recent episodes where I speak to Wanda, she's the owner of Goldie's Breakfast Restaurant.
Oh, I love Goldie's.
If you've been around, you know Goldie's because Wanda is amazing. Honestly, if it's about food, she should be one of Seven's heroes because she's a champion. And she also has a stagecoach. But she described the way the team works at Goldie's, and there's not any words. It's all vision and looks and just suggestions. I can only imagine what the team looks like that you're working with.
Oh, we're like a well-oiled machine. We really do work great together. And I do love each and every one of them. And that really does make a difference.
Yeah.
When you love your coworkers like family, and we spend so much time together that you have to be in that position.
It's all crucial.
So we're so lucky that we do love and care for each other so much. Because if we didn't, that would make it tough.
It would make it tough. Well, man, I love it. In your experience, have you ever had a moment on Wake Up Boise, funny, moving, or unexpected, that just stuck with you?
Oh my gosh, there's been too many to count over the years. I've cried on TV. Yeah. I've laughed so hard that, we can't stop laughing. We have to go to a commercial break. I have said things accidentally. I have had a ton of bloopers. We
had to have the blooper bleep out moment.
Oh my goodness, we've had so many bloopers over the years. I mean, it'd be hard to pick just one. I mean, there's just so many, and they happen every day. This is live TV, so there's no redo. We just go.
So I'm throwing this out there in September because I think that bloopers are some of the funnest parts of it.
They're so fun.
You should have the Maggie O'Mara 25-year blooper stream.
Oh my gosh, I think I'd be too embarrassed.
No way.
To have that out there.
You have to, you're a champion.
Believe
There's
me,
no way.
They put them on at the holiday parties, and I just want to cringe and hide under the table.
Well, if that makes you feel that way, I don't suggest it, but I guarantee you people are watching.
Oh,
It'd
it's so
fun. And
you know
funny.
what? They know we're human. Yeah. They know I'm human. I've always been my authentic self. I've never been, I'm a news lady. I've always been me.
This is Walter Cronkite.
Exactly. I've always been me because I believe that people connect with authentic, real people that struggle, that have their highs and lows, have their ups and downs, have families, deal with real things, being a mom and all the ups and downs that go with that, the roller coaster of parenthood, marriage, family, all those things. And I like to share and relate to other viewers than other women, especially other moms like me, because we're all in the same boat together. Whether you're on TV or you work over at Wendy's, we are all in this together.
You don't You know, the day gives you what you give you, and you have two choices. We can wrangle it and try to be as positive as we can. But I think that's why people connect with you so well, is that you're willing to let that be that way, Maggie. I mean, just we're all human,
We are.
you know?
We are human. I make mistakes. I have my bad days. Like you said, you have to be on every day. There are times where, you might be going through something. You still have to show up and do the news.
Yeah.
You might be, in a family fight or having an argument, or someone might be sick with cancer. You've got to be there,
You gotta
right?
do
So
it.
it has taught me resilience. It's taught me how to deal with struggles. It's taught me a lot because I always have to show up.
It makes me, I'll bet, one of those things that comes with wisdom and time, right, is there's so much chaos, and where you're just like the sailor sailing across the seas and the hurricane is there, and you're just like, nope, I'm good. This
stay
is going to work
steady.
out. Like,
Yes.
do the 72-hour rule. Don't react. Don't say anything. Just breathe, let it be, and come back with professionalism. I love professionals, Maggie. And it takes professionalism to produce at a level that you are producing at.
Well, we do our
I
best.
love that about
We
it.
do our best. But I love that 72-hour rule that you just brought up. That is so important for all of us because there's so much that goes on in our lives that we respond to. And you can either respond right away and freak out, or you can give yourself some time to gather yourself.
Absolutely. And 72 hours from now, that might be a tidbit, a thing. If you've got something going on out there, you're listening right now, and you've got something boiled up in you and you want to say it, if it's important enough to you, give yourself the 72-hour rule. And 72 hours later, if you think you still want to say it, then still think about it. Maybe one more time, because you might not get what you thought, and it might just resolve itself.
It might be over by then.
Yeah.
And you have a new lease on life at that point. You don't even want to get involved. So that's so smart. I love that.
You described the digital media world today. It is pure chaos.
It is.
It is so fast. There is so much content consumed on a given day through phones and people flipping through their stuff and different channels. KTVB Channel 7. Channel 7, everybody, you know it, right? That was a television program. You don't have one channel.
No.
You have YouTube channel, you
We
have X
do.
channel, you have Facebook channel, you have Instagram channel, you have channel all
We have
across the
streaming
board.
now.
You
We
have
have
streaming.
KTVB Plus. We have a whole streaming network.
Right.
We have 24/7, which is another channel on cable. We have a million platforms, and we are constantly populating those platforms with news.
And it's just, and the thing that I truly believe that you, in your entire production team, because obviously there's Maggie, who is a face and a representative of many people putting together many things.
Absolutely. So many amazing people.
Such a
behind the scenes.
great group.
I'm
right?
so lucky to be surrounded by incredible support there. I mean, the people behind the scenes make it happen. We're just delivering the news. The people behind the scenes are creating
Yeah.
the newscast, and they're the ones that aren't seen, and they kind of like it that way. But yes, there's so many people that put this together on a day in, day out basis.
So this segment, we're kind of talking about Wake Up Boise. 5 o'clock in the morning, get ready. News is happening.
You're on.
Maggie's getting up
Yep.
at 2,
Yes.
and she's producing
That's right.
every day, whether we want to be or not. But ultimately, mornings can be chaotic for viewers. There's a lot of stuff going on. They're finding out stuff right when they wake up. How do you try to bring calm, relevance, and joy to people's mornings?
Well, that's a good question. We start out, with the serious stuff, but we are very calm in delivering it.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's really difficult news you have to deliver. Maybe a mass shooting. Maybe a family that's been devastated with a house fire.
Certainly.
Maybe, there's so much going on out there. And so you have to deliver it with calm, with confidence, and let people know, hey, this is happening, but this is what you can do to help, or this is what's going on, but here's how you can be a part of this. That's a really great way to approach it. And then, of course, we want to pepper in the fun and the uplifting and the inspiring, the 7 zeros, the good news. Like I said, during COVID, it was so depressing. Everyone went home.
Every day.
Remember?
My goodness.
And me and Larry Gebert, we stayed.
Oh,
We were the
Larry.
only ones in the building, except for the director, but we couldn't see each other. We couldn't be close to each other because of all the rules.
Oh my gosh, how hard is that?
So Larry was at least 15 feet away from me
Yeah.
at all times in the weather center. I was on the desk, and then we had a director in the back. Everything was automated. Everyone was at home. And so it was very difficult to just bring that joy with so much chaos every day and so much bad news about cases and this and that and deaths
And the reporting of the numbers and
and it was so heavy, right? And I thought, I've got to do something. I mean, I couldn't go out and shoot.
yeah.
I couldn't go out and create stories anymore. So I had to figure it out. And so I posted on my social media, send me pictures, send me videos.
Yes, thank you.
Send me what you're doing. And it became this really incredible movement of people that wanted to share the good, right?
Yeah.
All the good stuff that was happening during COVID. And there was a lot of it. And I would just pump that out in my newscast, like time for the good news, time for good news. I still do it twice a week. Time for the good news. What is happening that's good in this community? And I've just kept it up.
Isn't it always just time for the good news?
It is.
There's always time for
You
good
could
news.
always use some good news.
But here's the thing. If you look for it, you will find it. That's what Maggie's doing right now and trying to do that. Y'all are helping her by sending her good ideas.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't do it without our viewers.
Yeah.
They're the ones who give us the content. If it wasn't for them, I couldn't share their kid with a funny dinosaur toy going down the slide at the zoo, or, the funny things that are going on in the community. A teacher who's worked for 40 years and is retiring this year. So many cool things every day that are little things, little glimpses of life here in Idaho. People love it. They want to see it. They want to see the real stuff, right? They want to see the adorable babies. They want to see the cute dogs. They want to see the funny videos. They want to see that joy.
And during COVID, that's a connection to the outside world. We were locked up.
It really was. And people told me how much they appreciated it every day. I got comments, calls, emails, like, thank you for doing that. And some of these people were alone in their homes. They weren't with anyone else. So the news and me coming on every morning at 5 a.m., that was their friend. I was their friend.
So
I was their support system for 2 years.
We've got 30 seconds. Maggie, if somebody wanted to share something with you, what's the best way?
Any of my social media platforms, message me or simply send me an email at Momara, MOMARA, at KTVB.com.
That's a great opportunity for y'all folks. There's somebody doing something that would be neat to be covered. Just share with Maggie.
I would love it.
She'll consider it for sure. This is the Great Idaho Show. Thank you for listening this morning. We will be right back. Welcome back, KBOI. This is Dylan, your 3.5 generation Idahoan. This is the Great Idaho Show, thegreatidahoshow.com. You can listen to all these episodes where I, through my experience, try to think of the people that are having positive impacts in Idaho, doing wonderful things in Idaho, something of an initiative, an artist, a great person. Hey, what's a great person? Somebody that we're speaking to this morning in this final segment of the Great Idaho Show, Maggie O'Mara. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
I love this. This is so much fun. I feel relaxed. I'm new at this, so I have a lot of anxiety.
Oh my gosh.
I can only
would never
imagine,
know that. You're doing great.
And you just made this so easy for me.
Oh, well, you made it easy for me.
So thank
we both
you.
did that.
I appreciate that. So let's go into one of my favorite things that you do, Sevens Heroes. So this was something that you described that was kind of happening a little bit when you got here.
It was.
And you picked up an idea of somebody else or some other initiative, and you've carried it on for 25 years.
Yes, every Sunday.
Yeah, every single Sunday.
It airs Sunday nights at 10. It is the highlight of my week. I have so many that I'm working on at once.
Yeah.
I work ahead, so I always have something in the hopper. I don't like to not have something, right?
That's pressure.
So I do work ahead, and I'm always finding joy in just covering these stories and sharing inspiring voices. And, the little guy who maybe doesn't get to share their story.
Sure.
I want to share that.
And we're talking things of young individuals, sometimes 7 heroes, a 4-year-old kid or a 6-year-old kid.
Absolutely. I've had toddlers be 7 heroes.
Yeah.
I mean, we run the gamut up to 100 years old, and even older than that. Yeah, there's no age limit. There's no age range. It can be anyone in our community.
And you can submit your idea. I would love to support this. I'm channeling towards Maggie right now because this is a great initiative. Say that again for all these listeners who may have just turned on. I'm speaking to Maggie O'Mara of KTVB Channel 7. She does Sevens Heroes every Sunday, has been doing it for a very long time. You've heard this. How would they tell you about a hero? What's the best way?
The best way is to email me at momara@ktvb.com. So it's MOMARA at ktvb.com, or just jump on any of the social media channels. I have a platform. Find me, message me. And I read those messages. I'll get back to you.
I appreciate that about you. That is professionalism again. I have reached out to a few, and I don't blame them. This isn't like a thing on them, but I was very just delighted for your response to my ask of you coming on this show. I don't personally know Maggie. Maggie, I could be just anybody, and she was just so kind enough to respond. She'll respond to you too.
Yes.
If she'll respond to me, trust me, she'll respond to you. I guarantee it. So a little bit more on Seven's Heroes. Your inbox has to be flooded.
It is. And then I have a file where I put all the special emails that I want to do, of stories I want to do. For instance, this week I'm covering an amazing tattoo shop over on Milwaukee here in Boise called Not Your Average Tattoo Shop.
Okay.
And the owners, Mariah and Dave Aslett, they offer free tattoos to grieving parents who have lost children.
Oh,
it's very
that's got to be the hardest thing on the planet.
Many of my Seven's Heroes are tearjerkers. I have to admit to you. A lot of them bring out the emotion.
And you don't get to see all of what's actually the story. There's only so much time for Seven's Heroes.
No, they're not there with me through the tears and everything else while we're doing the interviews. But they lost a baby girl a year ago, and they decided, you know what? We're going to do something to help other families like ours. And so they provide free tattoos for grieving parents. And these parents are just overwhelmed with joy by that.
Yeah.
Because they want that tattoo. They want that forever memory on their body.
That is, man, I've known some folks that have gone through that, and I can't think of a more impossible thing to try to succeed through, because there's just no other way about it.
And you know what? There's no shortcut.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut through grief.
Yeah.
And I don't know that feeling either. Thank the Lord, I've never experienced that. So a lot of very special things happening.
How do you balance the emotional impact with journalistic clarity when telling such personal stories?
I don't.
You just do it. You just roll with it.
I mean, I definitely show emotion.
Yeah.
I show emotion. I show that I'm human. I feel all the things that the viewers are feeling, and I want to showcase that.
Yeah.
And so I am going to tell the story raw. I'm going to tell that story the way it should be told, even if that means people are going to be tearful, even if that means people are going to have a difficult time watching it, because those stories deserve to be told. And honestly, in the end, it leaves you with an inspiring feeling, or you're touched, or it impacts you. And that's the way I like to tell stories, is I want to touch people's hearts. I want to touch their hearts.
I mean, you can't have a heroic story without some sort of challenge, strife, emotional scenario. There's a difficulty in being a hero.
There is.
And that's such a powerful word.
Yes.
And
last week was a lot more happy and joyful on Seven's Hero, because I don't know if you happen to see it. It was about the deputy, the school resource officer, who has his own donut shop outside of Valley View Middle School in Caldwell. He's an SRO. His name is Deputy Dar, and he has Deputy Dar's Donut Shop. And it makes him connect with these kids and build that trust between law enforcement and the students. And he is finding ways to build the trust and build those relationships as a law enforcement officer. That was so much fun to do, and to showcase such an incredible police officer, a deputy in our community. Canyon County Sheriff's Office, shout out to Deputy Dar. He was incredible to profile. So I have a lot of moments where there's so much joy spilling out of our stories, and sometimes there's the tears.
How many donuts did you eat, Maggie?
Do you know what? We were in such a rush that day, I did not eat any donuts. Deputy Dar put them aside for me too, because I love sprinkles. And he said, "What's your favorite?" I said, "Sprinkles." He said, "I'll put them aside." And then I forgot them.
Deputy Dar, that was Maggie saying she'll be back to get her donuts.
I'm going to have to come back in the fall when he starts back up again.
Yeah.
The best thing about that story is he said he was living his dream. That is his dream job, is to be a role model, a father figure, a law enforcement example to these students. And I thought, wow, how lucky is Valley View Middle School to have him.
I love what just happened between you and I, because when I think of hero, what had just came out of my mouth, I thought of emotion and strife and overcoming. There is heroes out there that are doing things that aren't just, saving the dog out of the car or something like that. There's people doing very sensible, practical things that are just, it's creative and it's positive and it's engaging lots of people.
I'm glad you brought that up, because yes, Seven's Heroes oftentimes are people who rescue people out of burning cars or save someone drowning. But sometimes it's as simple as a principal who helps kids get better sleep at night,
Thank you.
who helps kids read
Yeah.
and become better readers. It could be as simple as that. It could be a tattoo shop offering free tattoos. I just love to feature people from all walks of life because there are heroes everywhere all around us. There's no qualifications for being a hero. Some of these people don't even know they are heroes. I tell them they're heroes, and they're so touched by that.
They're like, you want to interview me? I'm just
Why?
a normal, I'm just great as I am.
Exactly. I just am giving tattoos away. Well, that's heroic in my eyes.
Yeah.
So it's a little slice of life, right? It doesn't have to be something huge. It can be something tiny. It could be a lemonade stand raising money for the Humane Society. It can be anything that touches people's hearts, that makes you a better person, that inspires others to do more for their community.
And we all can be heroes. It's not hard.
It's not. You could be a hero every day just by saying hello to someone who looks down.
Thank you for that.
Just by sending a text message to a friend that you've been thinking about that you haven't contacted in a while. I mean, there's so many things you can do every day to be a hero.
You know what I have a soft spot in my heart for, that all of us have an opportunity to be heroes for. And I really worry about the older generation of the people that live everywhere. They're being left by the side through technology. They don't know how to necessarily, or they're just feeling very alone. If you see somebody, a neighbor, old school, you see a pile of leaves, you see something, you could be a hero every day by thinking of our older generation and just doing something, take out their trash, something that takes you 2 seconds.
It's so true.
And you can be a hero.
Yeah, make them dinner, bring it over, invite them over for dinner with your family. And all of the people we have in nursing facilities and rest homes in our community, they need us.
Man, more than ever.
Oh, they do. And so if you can volunteer,
Yeah.
bring a little joy. If you play the piano, go on over, play for them. If you have kids, bring them with some cookies, pass them out. That generation, they love to see our kids.
Yeah.
And I've done Sevens Heroes before of daycare centers who visit our elderly
great
nursing
one.
facilities so they can have that time together. So many amazing things happening out there for our older community. You can look for those opportunities and you can serve.
So Idaho is great.
It is.
Okay.
It is so great.
Maggie O'Mara is doing something great in Sevens Heroes, being a very consistent professional news journalist, television news journalist, 25 years of experience, absolutely making an effort to share positivity. We've got about 40 seconds here. Again, if you know of a hero out there, let's make sure this is a plug. How could I not support this? How do we reach out to Maggie again?
Go to ktvb.com, send me an email.
Yep.
You can go to any of my social media channels. I have X, I have Instagram, I have Facebook. Find me, send me a message. I would love to hear from you.
I wouldn't blame anybody for not responding to me, but Maggie did, and I appreciated that because she's a total pro.
I'm so glad I did because this has been a wonderful part of my day.
This is the Great Idaho Show. This is Dylan Stucker, your 3.5 generation Idahoan on 670 AM, 93.1 FM, thegreatidahoshow.com. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.